Hey guys, so today I am doing my process work for Xiao from Genshin Impact. It's a new character that I stumbled across. Actually, my friends showed me pictures of the character before I actually got to that part of the story, so I kind of knew what the character looked like already. But it's taking me a long time to actually level up my adventure rank, which is a ranking that you need to constantly level up in order to proceed throughout the entire story and quest, like the story quest. So it's kind of very tedious. So yeah, so it's taken me a long time to actually go over and just beat like get more levels. So yeah. So I know when I was drawing either, which you can see on my drawings playlist, but in that video, if you've seen it before, I had said that I wouldn't draw any Genshin Impact characters anymore unless you guys specifically request me to, which you can in the comments down below if you have like a favorite character that you want to see me draw. However, the reason why I went back to draw Razor and Xiao is because actually I really like the aesthetic of those two characters, but everyone else I'm kind of not really into. Um, Everyone else is really pretty though, like because of the art style and everything. It's just more so like I'm not really into their personalities. So having that said, I went back and decided that I would draw Xiao and Razor just because it was two characters that I kind of pushed aside because I haven't gotten to them in the story before. So when I got into the story a little bit more, I like while playing the game, I was like, okay, I'll draw them. um, but yeah, this one took me the least amount of time. To be honest, Xiao, he has a white shirt, so his white tank top helps with the fact that it's easier to color in. And he doesn't have that many things like dangling across from each other besides his necklace, and that's pretty much it. So it was easier to draw and it took less time. It still took 40 to 50 minutes to color, but everyone else took like over an hour to color. I drew Sucrose, Eder, Razor, and this time a Xiao. So I only drew 4 characters. Um, I know for his markings that he has on his arm, I used a darker green. I know it's supposed to be a lighter jade green, but I don't have that just because my markers are kind of on the dark side, so I don't really have anything that's similar. But this is like a darker jade color anyways, so I thought it was close enough. And I am coloring in his highlights, which are like this light blue to teal-ish color. So I kind of just try to shade and add different layers for his hair. In the game, it says his hair is mainly black and green. I don't know where it comes from. Like for Japanese translations to English translations, I don't know if it's just like a loss of stuff, but sometimes when I watch like anime, it'll say someone's hair is a certain color, and then I'll look at it and I'll be like, but that's not the color that I visually see. Maybe it's like a lost in translation thing, or like maybe that was the closest color they could come up with when they were like trying to say in Japanese. I'm not sure entirely what is going on there, but I started layering it with like a light green and then I layered it with blue. It looks kind of like a dark turquoise color. To be honest, it doesn't really look like a black color. The only time I saw black on his hair was like for the shading, so I didn't bother to really add black to it. So yeah. So it started off with this nice light green, which I know it's super light and it's too light for his hair. So I go over it with different shading. So now I'm using a more dark blue color, and then I will go over that with like another blue color as well. I tried to do like shading to get it close to like his actual hair color, just because I don't specifically have his hair color completely. I still wanted to use 3 markers, even though technically I only have 2 markers that are in that muted blue color. So I kind of just decided to go with some green because it did kind of have this green essence to it, like a green hue, but it was very like it's kind of blended in with like the dark blues. So I did my best. I know some of the colors that I use are either too light or too dark, but that's just because I didn't have anything that was like exactly the right color. So I tried really hard to get everything the proper shade. Um, After this blue, I have to admit, like, I realized it looked too light green, and I ended up going back to like the second blue that I used, and I just went over and sorry, my voice. I went over and colored in more stuff, the darker blue, just because I thought it looked too green compared to the blue. So I had to go back and put more blue in since his hair was like basically all blue. Um, yeah, so all the parts that I left uncolored, like the tips of the hair, it would have looked nice if I didn't have to color them, but I had to color more blue in. So now I am coloring in his necklace. It's like pearls, and then there's like this stone thing in the middle, in the center, and there's like 2 tassels on each side. I think it looks really cool. I ended up not coloring in like the pearls since they were white, and I am just coloring in the tassels. And then I went to color in all like the gold parts. So he has like gold on his neck for his clothing, and then also there's like gold on his glove area too. So I do that as well. So now I'm just coloring in the gold parts on the glove. So I went to color in the black parts of his clothing, and so basically there's black around his neck where the gold is like outlining, and then there's also black on his gloves as well. Can't remember if he wears 1 or 2 gloves, but only one of his hands is showing anyways in my drawing. Since he only has like his necklace kind of overlapping his clothing, there's not really much to him, which makes everything like easier. Um, Other drawings are a bit more complicated and they take longer to color just because they have so many different details on them. Like Sucrose has like this neck pendant and then layers of different clothing. As for Xiao, it's just one. It looks like one layer, so it's easier to color in. And his glove is really long, so I colored in most of his arm. So now I'm just shading in the glove and the black parts. I didn't really shade in the pearls because not many of them for his necklace are like overlapping each other, so I decided not to shade them in. But I could have done that and added more detail. So that was something that I kind of just left out. For his glove, so this part of the glove, like the armor on it, To be honest, some references it looked like a dark purple, and other references it just looked like black on the, like, there were two different references that I saw. One just looked straight up black, like the glove itself, while the other ones looked like a muted purple, like I said before. So I ended up just going with this grayish color, this dark gray color, so that way it was in the middle, since I didn't really have that purple color anyways. But that purple was mute, so it kind of had like a grayish tone to it, so it kind of worked in the end. And now I'm just coloring in his sleeve. He wears this one sleeve thing. I know that shoulder with the sleeve is supposed to have like this shoulder pad with like a spike on it, but for some reason the reference that I was looking at did not show it, I guess because of the angle, so I left that out. And I am coloring in his sleeve, so it goes from like a light blue to like a darker blue, so that's what I ended up doing, like a gradient on his sleeve. And this part is literally way too dark, but I didn't have any muted colors. It's like these markings that he has. I don't know if that's on the shirt. I think it might be on his body, except his shirt is white, so it's slightly see-through, so they added that detail in the game. But I ended up coloring it in. It's a bit dark, but I tried to go very lightly on it. But I believe the markings are on his skin and not on the actual shirt itself, so that's why they look faded in references. And the dark blue part was like a tip of his pants, and then the purple is this cloth that he has draping down from his shirt. So now I'm just outlining everything. Overall, I like how it turned out. It was less complicated than the other ones, like I said before. Except for the hair, I have to admit, like, maybe I should have just stuck with doing the darker part, like the darker blue, instead of putting the green as the base. But I wanted to have, like, shading going on and not just, like, a dark color. So yeah, so if you want to see my other Genshin Impact drawings, they're in my drawings playlist. Everything is basically there. I will be posting his process work in my social media, which is in the description box below. Also, if you guys have any like requests for any characters that you want to see me draw, whether it's Genshin Impact or not, just leave a comment in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your ideas. I've just been recently trying to think of what to draw, so I chose these like Genshin Impact characters to just like experiment. They're really, like I said, tedious, but I don't mind drawing them. It's more so that like I probably won't draw too many of them unless you guys really want to see like certain characters. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!